For you, what makes a good movie? Interesting characters and how they change during the journey? Perhaps you want to see that cute couple getting together. Or do you simply enjoy a good story and the emotions it makes you feel? Well, whatever it is, let me save you the time and assure you that you won't find it malignant. Well, fine. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe you actually like this movie. Maybe I just don't get it. And you know what? I don't. I don't get it. I don't like it. And I don't know if it's meant to be a parody slash homage to cheesy horror movies or if it's meant to be taken seriously. Then again, I don't think the movie's sure either. Which is not exactly a good sign. I'm Dr. Midnight. Let's dissect, or at least try to dissect, Malignant. We start with, yeah, I'll call it Institute of Obvious Bad Things, and while those are common enough, I have to ask, did you rent this place from Schumacher's Riddler? Why are the lights in the windows green?
Not only is Gabriel getting stronger, he's becoming more malicious. We will no longer be able to contain him. I am still determined.
I really hope the end of the sentence is to keep him locked behind 7 keys for the rest of his life. But we never find out as Gabriel, whoever he is, gets out and is not in a particular good mood.
He'll kill you!
Don't be silly, I'm perfectly capable of dealing with... never mind. But despite their fear, they managed to contain Eleven's younger brother.
You've been a bad, bad boy, Gabriel.
I will kill.
After hearing that line, I would want to kill someone too, to be fair.
It's time. We cut out the cancer.
Oh dear. Look, even if the writing already feels like some crap fanfic, I don't think this means you should act like it as well. We have an opening with your standard creepy images trying to disturb you before you cut into our protagonist, Madison. By the way, thank you so much for informing us that's now present day. Even if I have no idea if that opening was months or even years ago.
Do we have any Tylenol?
You know, if you've got all this pain, maybe you shouldn't be going to work.
Well, honey, if you got a fucking job, maybe I won't have to. Oh, okay, maybe this is just the stress of the pregnancy. Surely they can get through it if they just...
Maybe you need to stop getting pregnant.
Dad.
How many times do I have to watch my children die inside of you?
You know, why don't you go all the way and blame her for the sex of the baby as well? I know he's supposed to be the bastard husband slash boyfriend of the story, but still. Even if I...
Bitch!
Please excuse me for just a moment. Hello? Vivisection Wing? I think I have a human specimen for you guys. The waste of human organs wakes up later to find this house decided to rip off Poltergeist. Maybe you're saying, oh please, just because this resembles Poltergeist doesn't mean it's a rip-off. Usually, I would agree. But this happens so much and so often that there's no other way to call it. Actually, let's make a rip-off list, shall we? After the character that only exists to die, well, dies, the woman wakes up and doesn't think the blood on her pillow is cause for concern. You know, just because you don't use it very often doesn't mean the brain's not important. You should have this wound examined, along with everything else now. A cop visits Madison at the hospital and tries to ask a few questions, but her sister explains she has said nothing for 2 days. Oh, and points of fucking sensibility to this guy, by the way.
The doctor said your sister had 3 miscarriages in the last 2 years.
Hey, just because she's unresponsive, it doesn't mean she's deaf. Don't you think that you could maybe, just maybe, have this conversation outside the room? Don't look at me. Honestly, this is the only moment I actually felt something for this character. Though I admit it's more because of the subject itself. Don't worry though, it won't last.
But all the hand patterns are upside down, like our perp was hanging from the ceiling.
So the murderer, most likely Gabriel, is the evil version of Spider-Man? Maybe a killer Spider-Pig? Actually, that could be fun. Spider-Gabriel, kills whoever Spider-Gabriel kills.
Mr. Mitchell used to knock Mrs. Mitchell around. Motive.
While the cops try to figure out what happened, Madison returns home with her sister, who suggests she spends a few days with her until she's recovered.
I can blow off work and a few auditions.
This movie has pretty much killed my career. Scared, she runs to close the curtains, while not trying to turn the lights off for some reason, or bothering to check the doors first. She runs and locks herself in her room and nothing happens. I suppose it would be interesting if this made us wonder if the weird things happening are real or are just in her head, but we already know the creepy stuff is real, and we have no reason to care about her. Maybe a visit from her sister will help us be emotionally invested.
I wanted to know what it felt like to have a blood connection with someone. Mom and Dad took me in when I was 8. I don't remember anything before that.
No, just some forced exposition. Gee, I can't wait to see where this leads us. Seriously, even the sister doesn't look like she just heard something shocking about someone she grew up with. She looks like she's trying to remember if she forgot to turn the oven off at home. One of the reasons why most stories wait at least a little while before the bad things start to happen is to give the audience time to connect with the characters. Now, there's nothing wrong with starting the conflict right at the beginning, but you still need some quiet and calm moments. The audience needs to learn who the characters are regardless of whatever villain or problem they will have to face. And having them constantly running around like headless chickens or having forced dialogue like that actually doesn't help. We then cut to this character. See, if even the movie doesn't give a damn about the sister's reaction to this information or what sort of conversation they would have about it, why should we?
Old Seattle, buried underneath here like a time capsule of a bygone era.
Who are you? The woman's attacked and... okay, that's not exactly a bad scene. And she wakes up in... one of the unused sets for a assault trap, I guess.
Hello, whoever your name is. I want to play a game.
No, actually it's just Gabriel, telling her that he waited for this, but he won't kill her now. Why he took her then, I don't know. It's not like he tortures or talks to her or anything. He just... leaves her right there. Back to Madison. Yes, she's still in the movie. We see that her concussion may have been more serious than we thought. That other hospital gave her the wrong pills. She has a vision of the doctor from the beginning being killed, which of course is really happening.
Dr. Florence Weaver, tough old bird, but she fought until the end.
Yeah, she really put up a fight there, huh? They find the base of the trophy used to kill her, but the top's missing. But it's nothing we should be concerned about since, as you see, those guys are the best of the best.
The brutality seems consistent with our other corpse. Same guy?
That would be my bet.
Impressive, huh? They have no actual evidence, no connection between the victims, a completely different MO. The corpse has not yet been examined, but they are already sure it was the same guy. They do, however, find several books the victim kept about her patients, as well as a photo of a girl. Oh my, who on earth could she be? Long dark hair, pale face, bright eyes... Nope, she doesn't look like anyone we've seen in this movie at all. Meanwhile, Gabriel apparently liked the trophy and has decided to turn it into a better weapon. Or maybe he's just into cosplay. Either way, that's some cool work he did there. After seeing the news and realizing her vision was real, and that she's now in a rip-off of Dean Koontz' Hideaway, Madison tells her sister about it.
It was like I was there and here at the same time.
Be okay, we're gonna figure it out.
You just... stay here while I call some nice men in white coats. Again, maybe if their relationship wasn't treated like a convenient footnote, I would be more willing to accept that the sister believes her right away. But after we see this guy who knew Dr. Weaver getting the axe, the sister just tells the cops about it and expects them to buy it. By the way, this guy who knew Dr. Weaver's killed too.
Who would kill her, John? Let alone mutilate her like that?
Anyone who saw her acting, I guess. Madison once again sees it happening as if she were there. I know you're busy killing people, but you could at least wash your hair.
You guys consult psychics, right?
No, we don't.
They said it's a real thing.
Are we really having this conversation?
It's like this woman just realized what kind of movie she's in and that's too late for her to get out. Either way, she understands our pain. The sister, however, convinces them to at least check the location Madison saw by offering some pretty solid arguments.
So let's go look. If she's wrong, you can have her committed and you can put the cuffs on me.
Oh, kinky. Of course, they find that the vision Madame Zora here had was real, and back at the station again, she tries to give them a sketch of the killer. Or of his face through an MRI, I don't know. Not feeling very well, she goes to the bathroom to wash her face and receives a strange call.
7 days.
Oh, sorry, wrong number.
You let them tell you I wasn't real. Now, I'm going to make them pay.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about my plans. I'm sorry I couldn't send you a vision of this woman kidnapped, I forgot about that. Toodles! After Madison and her sister leave, another cop points out that, hey dumbass, Madison was the girl in the photo all along. How could he not even... Look at that, look at that! They look so alike you'd have to at least suspect it. Speaking of suspecting, Madison doesn't want to tell the cops about Gabriel's call, since she knows they think she's the killer. I don't think you get psychic points for that. Not IQ points either. So the two of them go see their mother and Madison asks if she knows anything about someone named Gabriel.
You wanted a party so bad, Maddie. You nagged us until your father gave in.
Imagine that, a child wanting a birthday party. What's next? She wanted you to cook her meals? It turns out that Madison used to talk to someone named Gabriel, who her parents assumed was her imaginary friend. Because that always turns out great in horror movies.
You can't make me. Please don't hurt the baby.
Whatever you went through, it hurt you. I always figured you created Gabriel so that you could survive that.
Meanwhile, the cop goes through the files he found at Dr. Weaver's house, and he figures out who is the next victim, though he arrives too late to help. Madison, still seeing this through psychic cable, tries to warn him, but her subscription doesn't cover this sort of communication. Hey, I was only joking when I called him Spider Gabriel. Is this guy a mutant? The cop tries to catch up to him, breaking a few bones in the process, but though they fight a little more, Gabriel escapes. The cop and his partner suggest that Madison goes through a session of hypnotherapy to recover her repressed memories. She doesn't quite remember everything, but she does remember that Gabriel used to whisper in her mind and make her do things. Lady, excuse me, quick question. Even with all of this happening, including how you woke up to your daughter holding a knife near you, you never thought that maybe you should find her some help?
We thought if we gave you enough love, you wouldn't need him anymore.
Look, I'm not saying love is not important, but that doesn't mean therapy is useless.
Gabriel wanted to hurt the baby. With you here, I wouldn't need him anymore.
This profound realization, however, is interrupted by Raining Woman. Yep, it turns out she was in Madison's attic this whole time. Let me get this straight. This small two-story house has a giant fan running 24/7? Forget the killer acrobatic monkey on steroids, the real mystery is how high is Madison's electric bill. Madison is arrested. Congratulations, it's the first sensible thing you've done in this movie. Much to her sister's despair. I love that she stares at the cop like they're already so close that she feels betrayed that he's, doing his damn job. They try interrogating Madison, who has a brief Carrie-esque moment before they receive a call from Gabriel.
But you found my things.
You trying to incriminate her?
Dumb bitch didn't even know I was nesting in her home.
It's nice to see that despite being a killer, Gabriel still has Madison's back. at least enough to let everyone know he's real. And we cut from the love child of the acting Shyamalan's Avatar and Kristen Stewart to her sister and mother, who are trying to find out more about Madison's mysterious past. The sister finds out about the institute and heads there, arriving at night because it makes things look creepier, of course. She finds several tapes and archives in the basement because, hey, that's what always happens with places like that, right? Maybe everyone was just tired and wanted to leave. Anyway, she returns home with the tapes, and we finally learn about Madison's backstory. It turns out the kidnapped woman is her biological mother, who was raped at the age of 15. Oh, of course, why did I ever wonder?
Gabriel is an extreme version of a teratoma, a tumor consisting of tissues, hair, teeth, muscles, bones. It's a parasitic twin.
No, I don't think so. Edward Mordrake is an actual urban legend, and some people believe he may at least have been based on a real person. And the image itself is also nothing new. It does, however, count as a rip-off of Basket Case and Stephen King's The Dark Half. Now, maybe it's just me, but if I had had Skeletor's deformed baby on my back until I was 8 years old and he could hijack my brain body, chances are I would remember a little bit of it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. About that whole static shock thing Gabriel has going on, don't worry. It's just so the movie can justify how he could call the cops' phone. I guess they also wanted to make you think for a moment he was a demonic entity possessing Madison, but forgot to put effort into it.
I think he's able to trick her mind and make her think she's living her life as usual, when in reality, Gabriel has hijacked her body.
It's time to cut out the cancer.
A couple of things. First, although human biology is not my area, I believe there is, a huge freaking gap between a tumor and an intelligent parasitic twin that survived the surgery meant to separate them. Second, mind telling me what that trophy this doctor had said again? And yet she just pushed the face of said parasitic twin, which still had its teeth inside this girl's skull, with her hands. And you thought the experiments in the last game were messed up. Say, don't you think we should warn her future parents about this? Nah, they can handle it. But don't you think? Listen, do you want little Miss Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out of her hands or not? Speaking of Madison, she's locked with some hookers who, quite out of nowhere, they start to pick on her. Though no one seems to care about this whole hooker style.
Oh shit, yo, this bitch is having a seizure!
We were having a great time kicking her to death, but this worries us for some reason. But, guess we should just add super strength and high tolerance to pain to Gabriel's powers. Things are bad when even Agent Mulder would be skeptical if he heard about this. Seriously, couldn't just make a deformity appear on the back of her head Voldemort style? You could even justify that she didn't notice it due to Gabriel's powers or whatever. But I have to be honest. This design is awesome. And Marina Mazeppa, I'm probably butchering your name, I'm so sorry. The physical performer? She's fantastic. She truly carries those scenes on her back. While it's hooker season for Gabriel, the sister calls the cop and tells him everything she found out.
She was born with a parasitic twin. When Derek smashed Madison's head against the wall, it woke Gabriel up.
If this is how he woke up, is it any wonder he's so pissed off? He heads back to the precinct where Gabriel is killing everyone, which is pretty easy when the cops have a worse aim than Mr. Magoo. Yeah, this Kung Fu Matrix fighter couldn't beat that one cop by himself, but going alone against the entire precinct? Pfft, no biggie. What am I dissecting here? I open the stomach and I find a leg and a lung. I open the chest and I find a hand and a liver. I open the head and I find not whatsoever. Of course, Gabriel lives without killing the cop character, but at least the badass partner survives too, so not everything is lost. And Gabe goes to pay Mommy a visit. Luckily for him, the sister is there as well. Whoa, easy there with the sister complex, Jaime Lannister.
Gabriel,
Oh, also, the mother wakes up from the Hollywood convenient coma and tries to placate Gabriel by apologizing.
I should never have given you away. And I should have loved you no matter what.
Ah, how touching. Say, what did you think would happen? That Gabriel would just become a kind yet goof brother and we would all get a sitcom about your family's work life? Please explain to me what exactly gave you the idea that your abandonment was the issue and not the fact that, Gabriel is an insane murderous maniac. The cop tries to interrupt the family reunion, but by now you know what to expect from him. Useless. Maybe this is all some hallucination she's having. Maybe she's still in the hospital and all of this is happening in her mind in a way for her to process the loss of her child. I think her concussion actually explains a lot about this movie, just not in the sense the producers wanted. The sister tries to pull a I know you're in there speech, but Gabriel doesn't quite like it when she calls Madison her sister.
Madison, he killed your babies! He was the cause of your miscarriages!
Yeah, living with a bastard who clearly already saw her as a punching bag had nothing to do with it. Also, weren't you the one who said Gabriel woke up after Madison got hit in the head? Of course, Madison manages to fight back and locks Gabriel deep in her mind. Yeah, you know the drill. Pretty good job for someone who never did that before while going against a guy who had way more experience.
Now I can do all the mind tricks you can.
Not possible!
You don't get to control me ever again.
Okay, Tommy was so sister. You have not earned the right to a badass ending speech. Just do the whole mental prison thing and let's get this over with. So Madison regains control of her body, her cracked skull closes by itself. That's stupid. And she frees her sister.
No, it's too heavy. If he was strong enough to do this, then so am I.
Maybe technically this would make some sense, but what? Does this mean she also gets to be a human electricity generator now?
Blood or not, you will always be my sister.
Again, I could take at least the sentiment behind this line a lot more seriously if it was in any other movie. But because it is in this ungodly mess, all I can say is Blonde here could do a lot better in the sister department. I guess they cut it before Madison was arrested and sent to a secure psychiatric hospital. Well, what can we say about this particular file, fellow doctors? I can say this. I had a much better time during the Black Plague. I guess the director, James Wan, reached that point where he can do whatever he wants, but I still expected more. I'm not saying everything he did until now was great, but at least it wasn't whatever this was. It's a pity that this movie is such a piece of crap because, honestly, Gabriel could be a great and memorable character, be it as a slasher or as a monster. His design, the way he moves, there is a really good idea here. But your story, regardless of the genre, can't be sustained by one element alone. There's a reason why movies like Dead Silence and its villain are still remembered despite not being a huge success or exactly great, while others like Darkness Falls aren't. There are times I seriously wonder if the movie simply thought this idea was so great that just rushed on everything else because it wanted to show it to the audience. I get that many people had fun with this movie and thought it was hilarious, and if you're one of them, I'm happy for you, but it doesn't work for me. It failed to be even a so bad it's good case. It's just a mind-numbing, tiresome waste of time. I'm Dr. Midnight, and I hope to see you again in your next session.